one of the things we'll talk about when we get to the human mind section, it's a really important fundamental concept about how people work, is called loss aversion and threat lockdown.
Okay.
And to summarize it very briefly first, it's the idea that people hate to lose.
Yeah.
People hate to feel like they made a bad decision or wasted money or, did something boneheaded or, whatever. People hate the idea of making a mistake.
Yeah.
And the thing to internalize, or in applying this to sales, is presenting an offer to somebody. You are that potential for the mistake. Okay? You are the one that they're concerned about. They're like, okay, this sounds really interesting now. Am I going to regret this? Is this going to be a waste of money? Is this going to be a waste of time?
Yep.
Is this going to be something I'm going to really regret later? Okay? And the more strongly they feel that, or the more concerned they are about that, the less likely they are to actually buy from you in the first place, which is a really bad thing. Okay? So the customer, whenever you buy something, you're taking on a certain amount of risk. Right. It's like, I'm going to buy, something, we moved into this house. It's like, are we going to like it? We're taking on a certain amount of risk that we're not. And, whenever you buy something at a store, it's like, is this going to work? Is it going to be a waste of money? Am I going to use it? Is it going to break? Is it going all of these concerns bubble up, and it manifests itself in a hesitation on the part of the purchaser. It's like, well, I don't know if this is such a good idea. And that in and of itself is a huge barrier to purchase.
Absolutely.
As long as people are feeling uncertain about what it is that you're offering, they're probably not going to buy it. Okay, which is a huge issue. And universal, happens with all types of purchases. There's actually a psychological tendency that's very well documented called buyer's remorse, where people
I know it.
Yeah, people buy something and then they go home and they keep thinking about it, and then they convince themselves that they made a horrible mistake and that, oh my gosh, I can't go through with this. And that can even before you sell somebody and you haven't even provided the value yet in some cases, and they'll call you back asking for a refund. Like, well, that's kind of weird. Like, where did that come from? It came from the perception of risk and the fear that they made a stupid decision and they don't want to lose. And it's universal. It happens all the time in all sorts of different industries. Okay? So because it's universal, we can actually do something about it. Okay? And plan for it in advance. And this is a strategy called risk reversal. Okay? And risk reversal is the idea of taking all of the risk that the buyer is perceiving in this particular transaction, and transferring or reversing all of that risk and taking it upon yourself as the seller. Okay. And so I'm sure you've seen in some industries, and the mattress and bedding industry is a great example of this. Okay. The 365-day, 110% money back guarantee. You can sleep on it for a year. If you don't like it, you just give us a call, and we will deliver the mattress to your house. And if you don't like it, we will come out and pick it up, and we can trade it in. And all of this, they just go over the top. And there's a reason, and all of them do it, right? Or at least most of them. And there's a reason that they do it. And that is, if you're buying a new bed or a mattress, which is typically a pretty hefty purchase, and people do a lot of research and all this stuff, those types of policies make it much easier for a buyer to come to the conclusion that, you know what, I think this is going to be a really good one for me.
I'll try it.
And if it doesn't work, I can always return it. I'm sure you've probably bought something in the past where you're like, you know what? I'm just going to try it. And if it doesn't work, I'll return it. No big deal.
And from a seller's perspective, that's when you get in that little test drive mode. It's totally where you want to be.
Exactly. And this is, sometimes colloquially, this is known as what Kelsey mentioned earlier, the take the puppy home strategy.
Yes.
Okay, think of a pet store, okay? So you could sell a little puppy as you're buying a huge responsibility that means you will never be able to go on vacation guilt-free for the rest of your life. You'll always have to feed and water and scoop up its poop and, do all of these things. Here, do you want a puppy?
Another good example of framing.
Framing, okay? That's one way to frame buying a puppy. Okay? Here's what most pet stores do. They say, I can see you really like this puppy. You're going to really enjoy this. Will be your friend for life. It's another way of framing a puppy. And tell you what, take the puppy home and, keep it a couple days. If it doesn't work out, you can always bring the puppy back and we'll accept it. It'll be fine. Okay? The puppy never comes back. Okay? Extremely rarely, extenuating circumstances. And if the puppy comes back, the customer is apologizing profusely for not being able to keep the puppy. Okay? But without that policy, they would never be able to...
It's a huge risk.
Get the puppy home in the first place.
Yeah.
But once the puppy is home, you are sunk. And so risk reversal operates in the same way. Okay? It is transferring all of the risks that it's not going to work out, that it's not going to benefit them, that they're going to waste their money and the time and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's transferring that from them to you. Okay? So, in the case of the mattress, they don't have to worry about that stuff because they can come to the conclusion if it's not good, mm-hmm. I'm just going to send it back and it'll be okay. Now, it's really effective because if you remove that risk, you eliminate a huge barrier to the sale. But, and this is the tricky part, psychologically on the part of the seller, which is us right now, we hate to lose things too. We hate to feel like customers have taken advantage of us. And,
or like they don't like what we're giving them.
Right. So, having a risk reversal policy, take, for example, the mattress thing. Okay, I am positive that at least a couple times a year, the stores that have that particular policy get a customer that comes in, buys a mattress on January 1st, sleeps on it for an entire year, gets the full benefit from it, and calls the store on December 31st and says, you know what, this mattress just doesn't work. You need to take it back. Okay? Totally scammy, taking advantage of an offer, even though they reaped the full benefits from it. Okay? That does happen. Okay? And whenever you offer a risk reversal policy, whether it's a money back guarantee or, however it is that you do it, there will be people that will take advantage of you. Okay? And it sucks. It really does. I mean, there's, for this course, like, if it doesn't work out legitimately for you, you can ask for your money back.
Ah.
If you're not happy, I don't want your money. And I am positive that by offering that policy, unfortunately, there will be some people who will go through the entire course, who will learn a lot, will get a lot of value, and, right before the guarantee is up, they will say, I want my money back. And that sucks. Personally, it feels bad. But I'm still willing to offer it anyway, because here's the truth. Going back to the whole mattress thing, there will be customers who will sleep on a bed, trash it, ask for a refund, and if the store is smart, they will give it to them. Okay, so if you're offering risk reversal, always give your customers refunds, even if they're blatantly taking advantage of you. Always do it. Okay, it's a reputation thing. Now, what happens? Okay, so you lost money on those customers. That's bad. Okay? But here's the thing. By offering that policy, yes, some people are taking advantage of you. And we hate, psychologically, we hate that.
Sure.
But by offering that policy, you are closing so many more sales that you otherwise would never see because people would still have that perception of risk and they would believe that there's a lot of risk in doing this and they would never agree to the transaction to begin with.
It makes up for it.
Makes up for it in spades. And you will, yes, some people will take advantage of you. Yes, you will lose some money on some sales, but you will make so many more sales just by offering the policy that you'll recoup any costs you incur and then some.
Good.
Okay. So as a general rule, okay, offering a risk reversal policy almost always, and at a minimum, you should test this. Okay, if you offer a risk reversal policy, a money back guarantee for as long as you can possibly extend it. Even sometimes, the whole 110% money back guarantee sounds ridiculous, and actually, you want your guarantee to sound as ridiculous as you possibly can. Okay, because that's what builds trust. It's
True.
like people believe that if you're willing to go to this huge length to make sure that everyone gets the benefits and are
but no,
find
at
this
least check
valuable.
it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. Okay. So offering a guarantee, offering these risk reversal types of strategies is helpful because it will break down that barrier to your customers feeling like they may be making a really bad decision, and you'll get a lot more sales than you otherwise would.
Good.